Welcome back to the Mountain Dew 250, presented on Speed by Dodge. The field making their way down the backstretch, this extremely long backstretch here at Talladega and into 3 and 4.
You know, these guys all lined up on the bottom. They're leading the race, but you know how the guy leading got to the front was on the outside. So they were just using a little patience there, riding in line. Finally, Kenny Schrader broke formation and said, I saw Hornaday do this. His truck's just like mine. That's my teammate. I'm going to drive up around all these people.
And initially, nobody went with him, and we couldn't understand that. Now he's got some help behind, about 4 or 5 trucks behind him.
Folks on pit road have some information for us. Let's go first to Ray.
Been listening to the scanner, Rick, and Jimmy Kitchens is the spotter for Todd Bodine high atop of this Talladega Superspeedway. He came on after talking to Rick Corelli and said Hornaday wants to know if you liked it up there in the top lane. He's willing to go back up there. Todd says wherever he goes, I'll go, at least for right now. Adam?
Isn't it hard to believe these two old veterans who have NASCAR championships under their belt are so agreeable at a place like Talladega? But that's exactly right, Ray. Ron Hornaday on the radio, very agreeable to what Todd Bodine would like to do. In fact, he was encouraging Todd to give him some guidance in relation to what lane they wanted to run. And so far, it's working out. Krista Hornaday first, and right behind him, Bodine.
Further back, an update on that 1888 tandem. We saw early in the race the 18 pushing the 88. Well, now Matt Crafton said, hey, I'd like to try that myself. Be able to suck up and see how he does. But he said, Kyle just got on the radio and said, let's do it. Well, the 88 was running just a bit hot, so they have to wait to try it out.
And there you see the 18 running back in the field. He scored 19th the last time by. There's Matt Crafton. Crafton not quite as well at 23rd.
Yeah, Matt had to lay off a little bit. You see him duck his nose out. Jennifer Joe Cobb jumped in that hole in between he and the 13 of Johnny Sauter. He's got to cool that engine down a little bit. They'll probably take some tape off when they come to pit road the first time.
Meanwhile, update on the old veteran Schrader. He just keeps making a little bit of progress at a time. He's inched up to just about in the top 5 with help behind him from David Starr.
It looked like it took him about 2 laps to gain that 1 truck length.
Yeah.
From side by side with 6th to side by side with 5th.
We have 3 distinct packs now on the racetrack. We've got a big pack out in front right now being led by Hornaday. And then you got to go back quite a ways before you get to Craig Gose and some of the other drivers. There you see them. They're a couple football fields back from the lead pack. And then there's actually a 3rd pack that's even further back behind them.
Right, they were a pack of 1.
And then they've grown.
They've spread out, and that's interesting. These guys back here have totally lost the draft. The second group there, Kyle Busch and those guys, I think they're still sniffing a little bit of that draft. And if they get tight enough and start pushing each other, they'll really sniff that draft and be able to pull back up to those guys in the front.
Because they're running very comparable speeds back there in their pack as fast as the trucks running up in the front pack are.
Now we've just completed our 17th lap. We're on lap number 18 of 94. We talked about the pit window being probably right around lap 30. So we're past halfway of a fuel run here. And one of the things that you've always got to think about is if you stay green at a racetrack like Talladega, going from 200 miles an hour down to 55 miles an hour on pit road is an extremely difficult thing to do.
Yeah, and you know, Phil, these guys could look at getting 2 tires here early in the going, maybe even just get 4 now and never get any tires again. They have many different strategies they can use in order to close that gap. You lose the draft a little bit and you make a green flag pit stop, you might need to mix up your strategy so that you can catch back up.
Butch Hilton, the crew chief on our leader Ron Hornaday's truck, told us that if he has to fill it full of fuel, it takes so long to do that, they'll probably get 4. Anytime they go with a partial fuel load, depending on when the cautions come out, he said it's probably going to be 2 tires.
And maybe even none at the end. That's how good these trucks handle here at Talladega.
Saw a little bit of an opening for Ken Schrader. He ducked down to the bottom of the racetrack where that opening was, but now has come back out to that second groove to see if he can get some help, maybe make that second line run a little bit closer to the front. We saw it happen earlier with Ron Hornaday. How about Narain Karthikeyan in the 60 down on the bottom of the racetrack, just behind the 6 of Jeffrey Earnhardt.
What a great job by Narain. Came to this series first time ever in any sort of a stock car vehicle. Started it at Martinsville back in March or April, and here he is running the biggest rate and fastest racetrack we have and doing a terrific job.
Jeffrey Earnhardt cruising along inside that top 10. I know it feels good for these fans to see that black number 3 truck up there in the top 5, and then an Earnhardt running inside the top 10. Dale's last win 10 years ago here at Talladega. in this race tomorrow. So what a big win that was, charging from 14th or 18th to the win in just 2 or 3 laps at the end. Another one of the wonderful things that Dale Earnhardt accomplished in his career, and now Jeffrey's riding along in the top 10.
Hey, a guy named Earnhardt has won here 17 times. Dale Sr. 11 times, Dale Jr. 6. It's been very impressive for that family. You see Max Pappas make the hard move just in front of Chris Fontaine.
Chris has been fun to watch this weekend. Every practice session, he was right up toward the front, qualified in the 6th spot. What a great weekend it's been for Chris. This truck has been fast. He could force his way to the front at the end of this thing.
He tied his career best his last time out, which was at Chicago, by finishing 13th. There's no question he has a potential top 10 truck here.
The top groove's beginning to move. We're seeing momentum now.
You know, and if I'm Schrader, I'm liking that, Phil. He knows he's got a truck that he can lead a group. He's on the outside. He's going to take a group to the front. He finally made it up to the 4th spot. We've run a few laps. He was from 6th to 5th. Now, after a couple more laps, he's running in beside the 4th place truck.
It took him. Oh, watch. We got a slow truck up high.
Let's stay up high, slow truck.
We'll see if at 48.
And he did.
Ryan Silas will stay up top, off the pace. But you see Ken Schrader, again, side drafting right now with Austin Dillon.
And this is great information Schrader's collecting right now. He knows late in the going, he has a truck that can go to the top side and lead a group to the front.
Mario Goslin in the 12 on pit road. What's going on, Krista?
Rick, this was not a scheduled stop, or at least an earlier stop than scheduled. They had the hood up. Mario telling his crew, check the coil wires. I don't know what's wrong. Ray?
Krista, I wanted to give you a quick ad on Chris Fontaine. Michael was talking about what a great job they did in qualifying. His truck just a little bit tight off the corner, driving number 84 today. But this particular race truck has had so much success when we talk about super speedway racing. In 2001, Joe Ruttman won at Daytona in this very truck. Then Robert Presley went to victory lane at Daytona, and Bobby Hamilton in 2005. The truck is called Freak. It's run more super speedway races than any other chassis, and Chris Fontaine's hoping to hang on for a good finish.
Oh, trouble. And we got problems. Jeffrey Earnhardt slides. He had contact, slides in front of a few trucks.
Takes them in the wall with him.
We got Justin Lofton with him in the 7. They go into the wall, and the caution flag comes out on lap 23.
They caught up to a pack that was not running on the lead, that was actually getting lapped. And it really created a mess when you had the disparity in speed going on.
Yeah, they were really mixed up in the tri-oval. It just took them all the way down to turn 1.
Take it to the garage. Take it to the garage. God dang it.
Disappointment.
And Mark Rett, that's Justin Lofton's crew chiefs, and can't even believe he's in this situation right here.
Justin Lofton won the ARCA race here last year. We see Jeffrey Earnhardt pulling his steering wheel off of that
There's
truck.
nothing you could have done. Your radiator's knocked out of the thing, so if you just want to get towed
Great
back,
job doing it. Just a terrific job.
And it looked like there was some contact there for Jeffrey Earnhardt. He got loose down on the bottom, just wasn't able to correct it and stay in the right line. We take a look from up above.
You can see him lapping some trucks there. Earnhardt goes into a hole. Oh man, he and Max just made some contact. And you see Justin Lofton absolutely nowhere to go.
Looked like Max forced him down into the 93 of Mike Garvey. There's another view.
You can see this is where they get in trouble, exiting the tri-oval. Jeffrey's going through a hole there that's plenty big for him to get through right at this moment, but then right there, the hole closes.
His truck was wiggling a little bit, and
looked like
he and Max came together.
Didn't look like he was 100% comfortable going up in that hole, but he was up in there, and then
sometimes you can get sucked into that hole by the draft,
and also sucked around when you get inside of it. Move your truck all over the place. Check out the job the 53 truck here of Hobgood does. Pauses, waits, watches, and then calmly goes to the bottom.
Yeah, headed right toward it. If he'd have locked the brakes up, he'd have run right into him. Good job by Justin.
If Justin had done anything other than just be patient, he would have been crashed, but he does a wonderful job.
I think Grant Enfinger was very fortunate too when the 6 turned around sideways, almost backed into him. Grant was able to get by on the outside.
The thing that Justin in this black truck does that's even more impressive, he can't see anything. I mean, the smoke is just blinding him right here at this moment, but yet he's calm.
We're riding along now with the 6 of Jeffrey Earnhardt.
See if we can see what he's... Off the gas a little bit on it. Oh, wow. Just needed a little more room, Phil.
Yeah, they just squeezed him in on him there from both ends. He didn't have a whole lot of room between Max on the outside and the 93 of Mike Garvey on the inside.
Unfortunate incident for not only Jeffrey Earnhardt, but also Justin Lofton. He's already out of his truck surveying the damage, and there is a lot of it on the front end of that number 7 Toyota Tundra.
It's going to be an opportune time for a lot of these guys to come to pit road. Pit road this time was closed, but I'm sure when it opens, they'll all be on it.
On the back of the record, the 6 of Jeffrey Earnhardt. A short day for that young man. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. We just heard on the radio Austin Dillon saying, guys, it's out of fuel. Adam, what's going on?
It was another 2 or 3 laps before they were planning to come to pit road under green, and Danny Stockman, his crew chief, has walked him through every step of this. They elected to come on down pit road because obviously if you stay out here you were dead. Now by coming down pit road early, they will lose a ton of track position, but the good news is they can get their service and plenty of time to get back through the field. They pull a tear off the windshield. The good news is the truck is fired, and it appears Austin Dillon will survive this scare under caution here at Talladega.
Austin Dillon actually came down pit road before it opened, and he will have to restart this race from the back of the pack. But looks like the 4 of Ricky Carmichael may be out of fuel on the racetrack.
81 of David Starr looks like he's also running out of fuel.
Remember, we talked about these guys being able to go about 30 laps, but they had all the pace laps and qualifying as well, so they would have to come in earlier on that first stop.
Remember, we extended the caution before the race because of Norm Benning's truck stalling, so that threw him off a little bit. But David Starr is going to get a push here from a teammate, which is very opportune for David, but it was also opportune for Austin where he ran out. He came off turn 4 and he said, y'all, I'm out of gas.
They said, pit,
pit. There's a pit road right there. It was closed, but that doesn't matter. You got to get gas.
Just tacks onto the back. As Adam mentioned, yeah, you're going to lose track position, but as I mentioned earlier, 25th position was only 3.5 seconds behind our race leader. So the pack stays together, and we're seeing a pack now make their way onto pit road. Krista.
Ricky Carmichael was not out of fuel. This was right around the time their scheduled stop. They were just playing it safe. They're going 1 round up on the right rear jack bolt. Ricky said, don't free it up too much. They were going to go a round and a half. Ray?
230 is the water temperature for Todd Bodine. They're going to try to clean the front of that grill. They don't want to pull any tape off it. This will be a 4-tire stop for the Valvoline Tundra. They're going to get gas in there, clean the windshield, and he'll be away. Adam?
Windshield, that's his driver, Ron Hornaday, the race leader. What does he need? He said, nothing, brother. I'm just riding. He's going to get 4 tires, fuel. They will pull a tear off the windshield, wipe the grill, and the team will serve Hornaday first on pit road.
You're there. You're ahead of him.
Hornaday Bodine. Skinner makes up a couple spots coming off pit road. Jason White will drop 1. James Busher a couple spots as well. Ken Schrader drops a few. Side by side and 3 wide at Talladega already, and we're not even halfway. Stay with us.